Good morning. Good to be with you. I'm Anne-Marie Green. Well, time is running out for leaders in Washington to stop a series of deep federal spending cuts that could have devastating effects on the economy. On Friday, $85 billion worth of reductions automatically go into place. The cuts affect nearly every area of the government. The military, schools, even food inspectors will feel the crunch. Overall, government spending will be reduced by $1 trillion over 10 years. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers could be furloughed, though, and private companies with government contracts may be forced to lay off employees. Susan McGinnis is in Washington with more on this. Susan, good morning.
Anne-Marie, good morning. These cuts, known as sequestration, are the result of a deal the president made with Congress in 2011 to raise the debt ceiling. They were meant to be so harsh that Congress would, of course, come up with an alternative. Well, here we are, 18 months later, 4 days to go, and Democrats and Republicans still cannot come to terms. They cannot agree on spending cuts and taxes. The only area where they do seem to agree that sequestration will have harsh consequences for the economy.
Well, welcome, everybody.
President Obama hosted dozens of the nation's governors at the White House last night. He did not specifically mention the sequestration deadline, but he did ask leaders from both parties to work together.
While nobody in this room sees eye to eye on everything, we know that when we work together, Democrats and Republicans, North, South, East, and West, we can accomplish so much more than we can on our own.
On Sunday's Face the Nation, two governors, Democrat Martin O'Malley of Maryland and Republican Bob McDonnell of Virginia, urged Congress to avert the sequestration.
For whatever our differences might be, we understand that this is an economic threat.
The sequester was put in place to be a hammer, not a policy. And now here we are just a week away from getting it done.
But lawmakers can't seem to agree on how to avoid the cuts. Republicans are pushing back against any plan that includes tax increases.
In terms of the Democrats' plan, it seems like the first thing they come up with is we're going to raise taxes after having increased revenue. If you recall, in January, $600 billion over the next 10 years without any spending cuts.
Half of the sequestration cuts will impact the military. They could result in longer deployments for troops in Afghanistan. The White House is warning the reductions will impact federal agencies, resulting in flight delays and fewer food inspections. And Education Secretary Arne Duncan says up to 40,000 teachers could be let go.
We don't have any ability with dumb cuts like this to figure out what the right thing to do is. It just means a lot more children will not get the kinds of services and opportunities they need.
Now, the president is expected to address this issue during another speech today before the governors. Meanwhile, congressional leaders are apparently addressing a new deadline right now. March 27th, a continuing resolution to fund the government expires. So leaders here on Capitol Hill are apparently working on legislation to solve that one now. Anne-Marie?